In the spring of 1863, as the Civil War tore through the heart of America, a man sat alone by the dim glow of a candle. The world outside was thunder and smoke, but inside there was silence and a blank sheet of paper. The man was Abraham Lincoln, and this is the story of a letter, one that was written with care, sealed with feeling, and yet never delivered. Lincoln carried the weight of a divided nation on his shoulders. Thousands of letters crossed his desk every day from soldiers, mothers, generals, and preachers. Some begged for mercy, some offered advice, some simply said, "God be with you, Mr. President." But one night, when news arrived of another devastating battle, he sat down to write a letter of his own, not to Congress, not to a general, but to a mother. Her name was Mrs. Bixby, a widow from Massachusetts, who had reportedly lost 5 sons in the war. Lincoln's words were slow and thoughtful, not written by a president, but by a man. "I feel how weak and fruitless must be any word of mine which should attempt to beguile you from the grief of a loss so overwhelming." He paused often, his hand trembling slightly over the ink. The room was quiet, except for the faint ticking of a clock on the mantel. "But I cannot refrain from tendering to you the consolation that may be found in the thanks of the Republic they died to save." He signed it, a Lincoln. It became one of the most famous letters ever written in American history. But here's the strange part. No one really knows if Mrs. Bixby ever received it. Some historians say the letter was lost in transit. Others claim it was destroyed. Some even say Mrs. Bixby herself might not have wanted it, that her loyalties were complicated, that maybe she didn't see the war the same way Lincoln did. Whatever the truth, that letter, like so many things born in sorrow, became something more than paper. It became a symbol of compassion in the face of chaos. Imagine Lincoln sitting there, his tired eyes reflecting candlelight, his hand smudged with ink, writing to a stranger with nothing but empathy. In that moment, he wasn't thinking about politics or victory or history. He was thinking about a mother's grief, and maybe about his own heart, too. Because Lincoln knew loss, he had buried 2 of his own sons before the war was even over. He understood what silence sounds like when a child's laughter is gone. Maybe that's why his words still echo, because they weren't written from power, they were written from pain. The letter eventually found its way to newspapers. It spread quietly, first through Boston, then across the Union. People clipped it, saved it, some even carried it, folded inside their Bibles. It reminded them that even in war, human kindness could survive. And years later, when the guns went silent and the country tried to heal, Lincoln's letter became part of something larger, America's conscience. We often think history is made of battles and speeches, but sometimes it's just ink and silence. A single page written in the still of night can hold more meaning than any war ever could. And though we may never know if Mrs. Bixby read those words, we know this: they were meant, truly meant. Every syllable soaked in compassion, every pause heavy with understanding. Lincoln once said, "I have been driven many times to my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go." Perhaps, when he wrote that letter, he was praying in ink. So tonight, as you listen to the world outside, imagine that flickering candle and a tired hand signing its name. Some letters never reach their destination, but the best ones never need to, because they reach something deeper. The part of us that still believes in mercy, in tenderness, in the quiet strength of being human. Yours, Very sincerely and respectfully, a Lincoln. Thanks for listening. If this story moved you, please consider sharing it and subscribing for more stories that make you think. See you next time.